What's up, everybody? Man, I'm really pumped up about today's mail call, and I want to show you one awesome Karambit knife for the price. Stick around. I just wanted to take a moment to say what's up to all of my subscribers, and I wanted to greet all of the new visitors. Welcome to 411 Outdoors. Let's get started. Up until a few months back, I never owned a Karambit knife, so I went out to Amazon and started shopping around. I wanted to get familiar with Karambit knives because I've become somewhat of a knife collector. It's kind of becoming more and more of an obsession as time goes on, and I wanted to add that to my list of knives. And obviously, not knowing much about Karambit knives, I didn't want to spend a whole lot of money in the beginning, so I went out and purchased one very inexpensive from Master Cutlery. I want to say I paid about 12 bucks for it, and that's this one. I reviewed this on my channel a while back. It was a Karambit neck knife. I will tell you, now that I have this new Karambit from JXE JXO, I can understand why this one is so inexpensive. This is very light. Now, I don't take anything away from this. If all you can afford is 12 bucks for a Karambit, I think it's cool that you get one like this from Master Cutlery. It's pretty solid, but it's very light, and it's significantly small in comparison to this one from JXC JXO. I opened this one up today and I was like, wow, that's massive in comparison to this one. I want you to get a closer look at this Karambit knife. It comes out of the sheath pretty easy, yet it's secure. So that was one of the first things I was really excited about was, you know, the mechanics of this sheath. Now, I want you to look at this thing. This thing weighs a half a pound. It's got a really thick blade. I want you to see that all the way around. It's made from 420 HC steel, which we've talked about in some of the other videos, how that's a fairly durable steel and totally sufficient for something like this right here. The blade length here is 3.7 inches. It fits very well in the hand. It's very comfortable. It's got this G10 material here on the handle. The blade itself looks awesome. There's the logo. This is for sale on Amazon right now for about 30 bucks, about $30. Now I want to show you something in comparison to this $12 Karambit. One, you can see the size difference. Okay, this is the lighter one. This doesn't even weigh half of what this weighs. This is much lighter, and it's got this kind of a plastic handle here. And then you see this one from JXC JXO, which is twice as heavy, and it comes very sharp right out of the box. As far as I'm concerned, the Karambit is a self-defense weapon. When I buy something like this, I don't worry about it getting beat up. This is a choice for everyday carry. This blade length is pretty legal in just about most states. I know it is in mine. And this is an effective knife for self-defense. If you want to know the effectiveness of a Karambit knife, just look up people who practice in Filipino martial arts and some of the things that can be done with a Karambit. I've been going through some training with the Karambit myself, and I really love it. I love the flow of movement with these knives. When I first got into it, yeah, I bought the $12 Karambit. I was impressed with what this was for 12 bucks, and this is a great little knife for that cost. But why not pay twice as much and get something that weighs twice as much and something that's twice as durable? Not to mention the sheath that this thing comes with. My biggest issue with the Master Cutlery Karambit knife that I bought, this is a Karambit neck knife. I mean, people buy these things and hang them around their neck. I wouldn't do that, but nevertheless, that's just me. Was never fond of the sheath. I mean, I couldn't mount this to anything. I couldn't mount it unless I wanted to wear this around my neck. I could probably finagle and, come up with a way to mount this, but it's not so easy to pull this one out. It's locked in there really well, and it's just not easy to mount. This one solves that problem. I'd pay an extra 15 to 20 bucks just for this setup right here. When I set this up on my left side, and if I draw this with my left hand, I can draw this out very easily. So if you're shopping Karambit knives online and you're trying to go with the most inexpensive option, I would advise you, if you're looking for a good sheath, if you're looking for a way to carry this on a day-to-day basis, I wouldn't recommend going with something like this. I really wouldn't. I'd recommend spending an extra 15 or 20 bucks to get something solid like this with a really cool sheath that you can access. Karambits are scary. They look awesome. there's no question as to how effective these things could be in the world of self-defense. I hope I never have to use mine on another individual. Nevertheless, it is a knife that is built for that. I mean, you're basically giving yourself a claw. There's a couple of different ways people hold karambit knives. Some hold it like this. I've seen them, you know, just do the straight up claw method, you know, whereas some, you know, hold it backwards, which this is my preferred method here, the way I work with it. You're basically giving yourself a claw. When you think about the karambit knife, you know, we as people, we don't have claws, you know, like animals. You know, if you try to mess with a mountain lion, you're going to catch a claw that you don't want, or bite. You know, a lot of animals are equipped with claws. Well, basically a karambit knife is equipping yourself with a claw. As I like to say always, if you're going to carry defensive weapons, it's good to train with those defensive weapons. Weapons alone are not going to help us if we're not equipped to use them. So as a disclaimer, whatever weapon you use, I would seek out the proper training available to get proficient with that. I always like to remind people when I do knife reviews like this that I don't consider myself an expert. I consider myself to be somebody in training. Yet again, in another one of my knife videos the other day, I had some rude guy come in and trying to bust my chops in the comments about a lot of the things that I had said about the Kobun Tanto knife. I ended up having to delete his comments just because it was rude and unsensible and the conversation was going nowhere. I just don't, personally, I don't have no time on YouTube for people who just want to come and throw insults and not have any open discussion, man. People who want to argue on YouTube, go somewhere else. I'm not interested. I'm just here to give my perspective. Many of my subscribers who love this channel and support me know exactly where I stand on all of this. I never claimed to be a knife expert or a knife defense expert, but I am somebody who's in training constantly over these things, and I do like to talk about these things, and I think this knife is really cool. If you're looking for a karambit, you don't want to pay no more than 30, 40 bucks, man, check out JXE JXO's karambit. I'm really pleased with it. I plan on carrying this a lot. I love the material. It's solid. It's just really nice. I'm pumped about it. Might be my favorite piece that I have received from them to unbox and review thus far. I hope you have found this helpful. I will be providing a link in the description section for you to go out and purchase this blade if you like it, and I think you'll be satisfied with it. Thank you so much for watching, and take care.